Hi everyone, welcome to another session of Coaching Question of the Month. And today we are going to explore how to give feedback to our team members as well as our colleagues. So the question is, how can I help a team member or colleague of mine improve their performance or their attitude at the workplace? And one of the most common things when we're giving feedback is that we don't give constructive feedback, or we give it in such a way that the feedback seems a little bit too personal. So today I'm going to share with you how to give feedback so that it's actually more neutral and it is also constructive. Early on in my career, I wasn't great at giving feedback, and as a result, it created a lot of misunderstandings, and people thought I was trying to make a personal attack when I tried to give constructive feedback towards their performance or towards their attitude. And this created a lot of unnecessary friction with my colleagues and my team members. And learning through the hard way, I decided to attempt something different. So when I was attempting to rethink the way I was giving feedback, I stumbled upon this framework, and this has actually served me well as a leader over the years. And it simply means that you follow this three-step framework where you give feedback by first saying the situation, what actually happened, and this is how I'm affected, this is how I feel about the situation, or how this particular action that you have done affects me. And then this is what my request is, and what I need you to change, and what I need you to sort of attempt to get better at. By following this three-step format where you first describe the situation in a very neutral manner, and then talking about how this affects you, and it's not about them, it's about you, how this affects you internally, and then after that, giving a constructive suggestion on how this needs to change in order for us to work better together. This makes the feedback less about them and more about how it affects you. And thus, people will take this feedback as not a personal attack, but something more constructive in this case. So an example could be if you like to give a colleague who has been consistently coming late to work and it's affecting your meetings, you could give feedback in such a manner. Hey, so-and-so, I noticed you've been coming to work late. This has affected our meeting start times, and thus we have to end our meetings later, which then snowballs to the rest of the day where our meetings starts to get delayed. My request for you is actually for you to come to a meeting 10 to 15 minutes earlier, especially when it starts at the start of the day. Is that something you'll be able to work with? Let me know if you have any concerns. Now you notice from the example itself, you'll be able to give a more constructive feedback because you're not labeling or giving a personal criticism. And because of that, you are able to give a more objective feedback. And that's it for this month's Coaching Question of the Month. I hope this tip has been helpful whenever you think about giving feedback to your team members or your colleagues. One extra point to note is that when you're delivering this feedback, do try to listen how they respond towards the feedback itself. Some people might actually get triggered and take it personally. And if there is a situation where that happens, you will need to keep your cool and listen and actually explain yourself that this is not personal and that you're actually trying to help the person to grow and to give them a constructive feedback instead of trying to attack them personally. And therefore, it needs and requires some adjustment depending on the cultural context that you're in as well. So try to use it mindfully, and I hope this will help you improve your workplace relationships, just like how it helped me improve my delivery of giving feedback as a leader. If today's content was helpful, do give it a thumbs up. Do also share this with a friend or colleague who might find this beneficial. And if you're not a subscriber yet, do subscribe and it will mean a lot to me. Meanwhile, stay curious, and I'll see you for the next coaching question of the month.